Hey guys, Break here, and today I'm going to be talking about a few ways that you can make gold at the end of Battle for Azeroth. Now, as you know, towards the end of expansions it becomes a lot more difficult to make gold because there's not much to do, more people stop playing the game, the economy kind of dies a bit, and some things that did make gold before actually stop working. So we're going to be talking about some of the other ways that you can make gold aside from the usual methods. So one of the main issues with the end of expansion, particularly the end of BFA, is lots of the professions become unprofitable. There's so much competition and there isn't that much demand, so it means the profit on lots of profession items is really small. So one thing that you do want to do is look at the timeless gold making methods, or the things that work whatever the expansion or whatever the kind of scenario in the expansion, whether it's the start or whether it's the end. And I'm going to talk about a few of those things now. Now, when people have kind of completed the expansion like they have at the moment, then the only things left to do really are sort of collectibles, so mounts, pets, transmogs. So this is a great time to get into some of these markets. For example, if you have enchanting, you should really look at the Tome of Illusions. You can learn some of these from the enchanting trainers, and some of the others you have to buy from vendors, and sometimes you need specific rep, such as Secrets of the Shadow Pan. I think you need maybe Revered with the Shadow Pan, or Exalted, I can't remember. I think just Revered or something. But anyway, it's really good because they all sell for big profits and they sell regularly. Unlike most transmog items, these have a sale rate of like 0.08 or 0.09 or 0.07 as you see here. And for those of you who don't understand that, it doesn't really matter. But even some of the best enchants only have a sale rate of like 0.2 or 0.25. It basically means you'll sell the Tome of Illusions about half as much as you sell the normal enchants, which is still really good for something that's not like a current world thing. It's something that's a transmog basically. Tome of Illusions basically just transmog for your weapon. So this thing sells all the time and they're all profitable, and it's great because you can just make a couple of them at a time. And people often will buy them all at once because they'll be like, oh, I didn't even know that these weapon enchants existed. So they'll go to the auction house and they'll buy the cheapest Tome of Illusion Northrend, the cheapest Tome of Illusion Cataclysm. They'll buy all of them. So suddenly you've got, what, 1k or 2k or 3k profit, 4k profit for this Outland one. And someone buys them all, that's like over 10k right there. And I'm on a really high populated server. I've seen these go for a lot more on some other servers, so if someone buys them all, you could make sort of 20k profit right there. And that happens regularly, like once every couple of days or so. So it's a really easy way to make some gold if you do have enchanting. Another thing is, of course, mounts. So people are collecting mounts at the moment because there is not much else to do. So things like Vial of the Sands or things like the Jewel Crafting Panther mounts are really good. Now, obviously, you do need to check the prices on your server because it takes a long time to farm the recipe for Vial of the Sands. And I don't want you guys to spend ages farming the recipe and then not be able to sell it for a profit. So do make sure you check your server. But I know a lot of people, particularly on the less populated servers, are selling Vial of the Sands for sort of 20 or 30,000 gold each. And they sell 1 or 2 every day, so it's a really good way of making gold. And same with the Jewel Crafting Panthers. So if you can be bothered to farm up the recipes, then selling mounts is a really good way to make gold, depending on your server. And like I say, lots of people have been having great success with the Jewel Crafting Panther mounts, which are pretty easy to make, and even some of the engineering mounts, but again, it depends on your server completely. Another thing to think about is glyphs. Obviously, lots of people are leveling up at the moment, and lots of people are trying out new characters and trying to pimp out their characters, and glyphs are a great way to do that, particularly the glyphs that kind of change your character. Things such as Glyph of the Spectral Raptor or Glyph of the Sentinel, which changes your travel form if you're a druid. In fact, loads of druid glyphs sell really well, but look at the sale rate of these two, so much higher than the others. So if these two glyphs are popular on your server, then definitely make those because they sell really quickly. But to be honest, any glyphs, there's some glyphs that sell for like 2k, 3k. I don't even have many glyphs on this server, but I have had a lot of success in recent expansions towards the end just selling glyphs because people want to pimp the characters and they don't really want to waste time making it themselves. They're just going to buy it from the auction house, and it's going to be very profitable if you can get into this market. Obviously, when you are dealing with glyphs, try not to buy the pigments yourselves, unless it's profitable to do so. Usually you just want to mass mill the herbs, because herbs are really cheap at the moment, so it's a great time to get them, mill them, and that's how you can get your pigments to make the glyphs. But again, on some servers it's better to buy the pigments, but usually it's better to do the milling. Okay, before we move on to number 2, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare offers thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and a whole lot more. Most of us are having to spend lots of time indoors at the moment, either working from home or stuck with not much to do, but Skillshare provides spontaneous acts of creativity which may help break up the routine of a day spent indoors. Skillshare is also affordable, with yearly subscriptions at less than $10 a month. Now, I recently bought a new iPhone to record myself on my vlogging channel, and I've been really enjoying the iPhone filmmaking course by Caleb Babcock and Niles Gray. So if you want to learn something new, then click the link in the description for 2 months free Skillshare. Now, another thing which is great for making gold right now is leveling things. So as you know, gain the Winds of Wisdom, this Winds of Wisdom thing that Blizzard have added for the whole of April pretty much, or until April 20th, you get 100% experience buff. So there are so many people leveling right now, including lots of streamers and all of that. So leveling is a big thing right now, obviously, because it's twice as quick as normal. Now, a great way to make gold from people leveling is selling low-level enchants, which people will actually put on their heirlooms because they want to just max out how fast things are. Now, you might think that's ridiculous, people enchanting their low-level heirlooms, but people actually do it quite a lot. Now, one of the best enchants that you can sell is Enchant Chest Glorious Stats. This is just a classic enchant that you can learn from any enchanting trainer, but it's really, really powerful. Now, I know on my server it's only selling for 30 gold profit, which really sucks, but usually it sells for a lot more, and if you look at the region market value, it's at like 500 gold. So across the average region, it's selling for 500 gold, or it's up there for 500 gold. And right now, they are selling really, really fast. I mean, look at the sale rate. It's crazy for something that's a transmog beast. It sells like the same as a real world or BFA enchant. So it's really, really powerful, and it's a great thing that you can sell. Some other things are the Legion binding enchants, particularly for leveling up in the later levels. The cloak enchants and the ring enchants, both of these are really good, and as you can see, they sell for quite a lot more than everything else. 3,000 profit, for example, and the sale rate is pretty good, a lot better than transmogs and almost comparable to some sort of BFA stuff. So it's a really good thing that you should be thinking about. Basically, enchanting is just great towards the end of an expansion, so if you don't have enchanting, maybe think about getting it. Weapon enchants are also pretty good. Jade Spirit for a healer, and Elemental Force for DPS. Those are some of the BIS, so again, something pretty good for leveling up, and you guys should make sure you have all of these on the auction house at the moment, because they will be selling really quick. Okay, so we've talked about the timeless profession things, and we've talked about the leveling sort of boosters, things you can do to help people who are leveling. The third thing that's great for making gold at the end of expansions is boosting. Now, I know this is not for everyone, particularly if you're a beginner. Just forget about this because you're not going to be able to do it. But you'd be surprised how easy it is. I am no means a professional player, but I have made a lot of gold boosting in the past, and it's really not too difficult to do, particularly if you are in a raiding guild who does heroic. So even if you're not a mythic guild, but you're regularly clearing heroic, so you're just kind of casual raider doing heroic, that can make you a lot of gold because you can sell heroic boosts. Literally all you have to do is invite someone in for the last boss. Ahead of the curve is the achievement they're going to get, and you can just sell the ahead of the curve achievements because everyone wants that, because then you can get a mount from it, the Uncorrupted Voidwing, and as we've been saying all video, people love mounts at the moment. So selling ahead of the curve is great if you are in a guild that can do it, and you can sell it to a couple of people at once, and you can sell it for like 300k. and 300k times 2 is 600k, and then you divide that by the number of raiders, but you're going to make sort of 60k, or I don't know, 30k, whatever. You're going to make a certain amount of gold, and it takes no time at all really if you're pretty good. So if you are in a raid guild and you're looking for ways to get a bit of extra gold, selling ahead of the curve is obviously a great thing to do. And then if you are a bit better, you can sell Mythic Plus boosts. I have done videos on this in the past, but selling Mythic Plus is a great way to get a bit of gold. It's probably even better than the heroic raiding, because you can just keep on doing it, and you don't have to share the gold about. You can kind of just do it within a group of 3 or 4 of you. So if you do want to get into Mythic Plus boosting, again, you do have to be a pretty decent player obviously, but you don't have to be incredible, because some people are just looking to get their key done and they don't really care about doing it in time or anything. They just want to get it done, and if you can help them with that, they will pay you. And the final thing we're going to talk about in this video is flipping. So flipping is actually still profitable. Whilst professions might have lost some of their profitability, flipping kind of continues to be good. Maybe not so much BOE gear anymore, but obviously that does still work, and it will work throughout the entire expansion. But I'm not going to talk about BOE gear flipping because I've done that so many times. But I'm going to talk about just the simple flipping. So as you guys can see, there was recently a post on the WoW Economy subreddit about someone who went from 1 gold to 100,000 gold in 3 weeks just from flipping. Now, old world commodity flipping is a great thing to do, as shown in this Wowhead Economy weekly wrap-up. We've been talking about old world stuff this whole video, and stuff like the Tome of Illusions. They use lots of old world mats, such as Primal Fire, which is a great thing to flip. And for those of you who don't know what I mean by flip, it's just go on the auction house, search for items which are cheap, buy them, and then put them back on the auction house for more gold. So you make a profit just flipping them. And it's a great way to do this with old world materials at the moment. For example, if you look here, some of their best selling, most profitable items over the last few days, and look, sort of the old intellect flask from Draenor, some old cooking materials, some just random Legion stuff, some drums, more Legion sort of herbs, basically anything old world that is listed below its price. People are leveling up professions at the moment, people are leveling up characters, people are doing just random things in the game, and old world materials are popular, and it is a great time to be flipping these. Now, if you guys have Trade Skill Master, there's lots of people who have old world material groups that you can just run search scans for, and things that are worth well below their normal price you can buy up, and you can just relist for the normal price, and usually they'll sell after a few days, or even if you have to wait a few weeks, it's still going to be worth it. So yeah guys, make sure you do have a scan of your auction house, look for some old world stuff, particularly mats that make Tome of Illusions or Legion mats, because lots of those are used in enchants at the moment, or just pretty much anything. Just have a look. If it's cheap, buy it up, try reselling it. You'll probably make some gold and you'll have fun. If you've never tried flipping before, doing some sort of old world flipping is great because it doesn't have much risk. You don't have to spend much gold to do it, and you could make a nice bit of profit. Anyway, that is it for this video guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be trying to make videos more regularly now that we've all got some more time on our hands, and I'm enjoying WoW again, but I'm really excited for the new expansion, so hopefully when the beta comes out we can have a little look at it and see what's happening. But I am excited for things to come, so stay subscribed. Thank you for watching, and until next time, see ya.